Okay. So, and then I didn't forget about you. We were having a nice spirited back and forth. You were saying that you thought that God created men and women equally.
No, I said God created men and women, not equals. We're not equals, absolutely not. But He did create us, both of us. So we're either, I feel like we're supposed to be a team in some sort of way.
Well, team implies what?
Not equality. In a team setting, no one is an equal. There's people have positions in a team setting.
Okay, so you would say that the man's the head of the family.
He should. I would like my man to be the head of my family. And I would like to support him in however way I can.
Do you think that men should be the head of the family?
I think every relationship has a different dynamic, but me personally, I want my man to be the head of my family, yes.
Okay, so I'll grant that every single relationship has a different dynamic.
They do.
Would you say, though, that generally it's a better idea if the man is
agree.
at the head?
Yes, I think the dynamic is much more better from my experience when I see my friends who are married.
Mm-hmm.
The dynamic is typically better when, yes.
Yeah, and should women be submissive to their men?
Absolutely, but you gotta, you don't want to be submissive to, just anything, you gotta be,
Well, no, that wouldn't be your man. You would be submissive to your man, right?
Yeah, but this man that I'm submissive to, there's everyone should have standards and, should have their standards. And it's that's what you should be.
So what standard does a man have to meet for you to be submissive to him?
For me, a big one is mainly a provider.
Money?
Money is a big factor because, we have access to a lot of things. If I have kids, I want to make sure that they go to good schools and we have a nice home and we live in a nice neighborhood, things like that.
So if he meets the material conditions.
That and also communication, because along the way of our relationship, there will be, things that we need to overcome and misunderstandings and different points of views. So important for us to we're solution oriented and not so much stuck on this, I'm right, you're wrong. It's more this is the issue. And
But what if he says he's right and you're wrong?
I'll let him have it, and then maybe when he calms down, I'll revisit.
That's that's awful benevolent of you to let him have it.
It depends what the heat of the moment is, but I will.
It doesn't sound very submissive. I mean, you're gonna go bother him again in an hour? You're like, okay, fine, and then you're gonna come back in an hour and be like, but after having thought about this in my bedroom, I got more and more upset and felt like I needed to bring it back to you.
Look, it all depends on what it is. Some things I'm willing to okay, whatever. It's not I'm not sure. It depends really on the argument and what it is. You know what I mean?
So here's why I'm asking. Let me just cut right to the chase.
Yeah.
I don't believe when most women say that they want to be submissive that they're telling the truth.
Why?
I think that because I don't believe that what they consider submission to be, I think that they consider it another form of partnership or equality. So I'll submit as long as you meet X, Y, Z conditions. So for instance,
right, well,
hang on. You said material conditions are important.
For me, yes.
So you get married to a guy who makes $500,000 a year. He gives you a wonderful life. He gets sick.
Okay.
Like my dad did. He gets multiple sclerosis. Okay. And now he's messed up. Is he still the head of the family even if you're the breadwinner?
I mean, he's my partner. I married him. It wasn't his fault that he got sick.
It's true. But is he the head of the family even if you're the breadwinner?
In my eyes, he is.
Yeah.
I would be like, kids, respect your father. He's
No.
still your dad.
He says, I make all the decisions, and you're going to follow those decisions.
Well, I think decisions in the household, it's a two-parent household. What decisions are being made? I think if you respect...
Well, that's not submission.
If you respect your partner, look, submissive is not a slave. Let's be clear.
What is it?
Submissive is to me, if your man, look, if we have gender roles, if we are both doing our part, in a way, a man submits to a woman, a woman submits to a man.
No, a man doesn't submit to a woman. How does a man submit to a woman?
Because your woman will have certain wishes that she wants you to grant or things she wants you to do. Let's say, throw out the trash or be home by dinner at this time or, help me with this, help me with that. Or
sounds like equality.
Or provide. That's not equality because, she's not.
Well, if you're saying he has to submit under XYZ role.
I'm not
You have to
saying he has
submit
to
under
submit.
XYZ role. It sounds like it's a partnership.
Look, yes, we are partners.
Oh, that's not equal.
Partners are
That's
not
equal. They're not? You have a lesser equality to your husband?
No, I deserve respect.
Well, that confuses me.
Okay.
Are you equal or are you not equal to your
Equal
husband?
in we're not equal because you're a man, I'm a woman. We deserve equal respect, but we both have
So
different
equal dignity
roles.
as human beings, sure.
We have different roles in this relationship dynamic. You're a father, you're a husband, I'm a wife, I'm a
So
mother.
what's his role if he's sick, right?
he's
And he can't
sick,
work and you have to provide. And he
then-
says this. Hang
then
on.
I'll
He
do
says
it.
this. He says this. When you come home, you're going to give me all the money. And I'm going to put the money in where I see fit, right? That's where it's going to go.
Well,
and hang on. Let me finish.
Yeah.
And you disagree with what he's doing with that money, and you're making it.
Why would I disagree? I would trust. I mean, like,
Because you do. You think he's spending it
so
unwisely.
so in this scenario, I disagree with him. I would express that. Look, I don't think it's a smart decision. And you know, if you want to that's the thing. Like, it's not an argument. It's like this is what's the problem. Like, let's solve it. So it's not about me being right
And
or
he
you
says,
being
okay,
right.
let's solve it. We're going to do this, and that's it.
Well, that wouldn't be my partner.
Oh,
because
right.
my partner's not stuck on.
Because
My partner's not stuck on
You
having
must
his
respect
way.
me first,
right,
Andrew.
Right. So
first.
when you
No.
boil
Well,
it down.
we both deserve respect.
when
How
you-
would you like it if I came home and I'm like, no, we're only doing this, and what I say
Well,
goes?
if I was the
don't-
one advocating that I was submissive, that would be my expectation.
Look, in a
is that I come home
relationship-
and submit.
in a relationship, we both submit at certain different times of the day.
Equality.
Like, it's not equality.
Oh, really? It
you
sounds like
know.
equality.
Okay,
It sounds
what
like
is
with
equality to
flowery.
you? What's equality to you?
So for me, it would be a kind of utilitarian aspect of egalitarianism, which would mean that you think that you are equal to your husband.
I'm not, though. So
Then why is
what's
it
the
then if he says
misunderstanding?
this is the way it is, you say
I wouldn't argue
that would
with
not be
him.
my partner who said that to me. If I thought he was using that money irresponsibly, I thought so.
So what would you do if your wife was misusing your money? Like, you know, you're not
Oh,
gonna
I would
have
take the
an
money away from her.
You're not. So I'm not gonna take anything away from my husband. Like,
Well, then if he says that's the way it is, you should say what?
well, then that's the way it is. But
Well,
like,
then how come earlier you said that would not be my partner
because
then?
my partner would allow me to like express myself and have my
Why
views.
should he allow you to express yourself if he's already made the decision? If he says no,
Because some decisions require two people.
which ones?
And some decisions you want your partner's input.
Which decision requires two people?
It doesn't. I don't have. Have you ever been married or in a relationship?
Let's assume I haven't.
Okay. Well.
You could
Okay.
tell?
Whether you have or you
I
haven't.
thought you might.
I have a question. Whether you have or you haven't, have you owned a business with someone else?
Let's assume I haven't.
Have you played a sport with someone else?
Let's assume I haven't. Can you get to the argument?
My argument is that in all these things, you need to consult with the people you're working with, or
Consult.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a coach in a team, when you go to consult with your players, can you do things like, say, run a bunch of fucking laps? And if you don't, you're off the team.
I don't know. I'm not a coach.
Then why'd you bring it up as an example?
Because when you're.
Why did you ask me?
Because I'm talking about.
Wait,
team-
what the fuck?
I'm
You
talking
just
about-
asked me. You were
I'm
like,
talking
have you ever
about
been on a
setting.
team?
Yeah.
And I give you a team analogy, and you're like,
talking
I have
about-
no idea.
Right, you're talking about, okay, I'm talking about team setting, as in team player with team player. You're talking about the coach. I think, I'm not a coach. I don't know. But in a team setting, like a relationship is, because it is a partnership. You get married as a partnership.
And your submission comes in as what?
As respect for my husband.
Yeah, but what does that mean? I just gave you a scenario
Right.
in which your husband says, from your perspective, he's not respecting you. From your perspective,
No,
he's
you're
saying,
saying-
hang on, it's baked into the hypothetical. Just listen. Don't move it.
why
Hang
is
on.
the
Don't
hypo-
move.
why
Don't
is
move
the
ahead because it's
hypothetical
designed
always
to test your
negative?
logic.
Why is hypothetical always negative?
Hypotheticals aren't always negative. It's just designed to test your logic, so we
Okay.
can see where you end up.
Okay, cool.
This guy's making decisions you don't agree with, and he's taking your money, which you're earning, and he's sick. And you say, I don't agree with the decisions, and he says, listen, that's too bad. I have the last word on this. What happens?
Look, I don't know, because I've never been in that situation. I just trust that the man I end up with, I have good judgment of character. And, when people are sick, they're not themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, so I think, I understand you say you don't know.
I don't
right?
know,
But
yeah.
from my perspective, submission, people who actually say, I submit to my husband, in that situation, they submit.
It's not again so much about being right or wrong.
That's right.
I think it's more about like, this is the problem, let's solve it. So that is,
Yeah,
that's-
but what if he says it's not a problem? I've already solved it. Now go
okay,
away.
then I trust him.
Now
then
go
I
to your
trust
room.
him.
Now
I
go to your
wouldn't-
room.
Look, if it's solved, if my husband wouldn't speak to me that way. That's
Why
the
not?
thing.
I would.
Because there's respect. Because when you respect
That's
your
not-
partner,
If you're questioning him, you're not respecting him.
I'm not questioning him. You
Well,
are.
then
you're
why did he
saying-
send you to your room?
You're saying
No, she's
in
mad.
your
She's about Chris
story-
saying go leave,
No,
bitch.
in-
He didn't. And just to clarify, Chris said leave bitch. That's
in
not what
your
he said.
No, I didn't
okay,
say that.
Yeah, he didn't say that. So
Okay.
disregard Chris.
No.
But
I
But
didn't
in
say
your
that.
story, I'm disagreeing with my husband. I would I'm not really like a disagreeable person
Mm-hmm.
because I trust the
Stop
man
the
I'm
cap.
with.
What are you doing right now?
No,
right now, man?
No, he wants to debate and argue. I'm not, so I'm standing my ground on my point of view, and
Well, I'll just end it like this then. Maybe we can find some common ground.
maybe we could.
So, in the situation then, if your husband, from your perspective, gets sick,
Yes.
right, and it's terrible, but all of his faculties are intact, right, and he says,
Okay.
now you're going to go work. When you get home, I'm going to take the money, I'm going to apply it to the household how I see fit, even if you don't like it.
I trust him. I
And you
would say
agree
yes.
that women should do so.
I trust him, so I
Yeah,
would,
no, but
I
you
would say
agree
yes.
women should do so if they're married.
I mean, it's your kingdom. Yeah, you cooperate. Like, you know what I mean? It's more than just about you. It's about your family and you guys. Everybody has different values. So, like, for me, like, I trust him. If he's intact, yeah, he's sick. Like, okay, now it's my turn.
And you think most women should.
I think if you value that relationship and you want it to last a long time and last, then yeah,
Then
do your
okay.
end. Do
Perfect.
your end.
Well, then we find some agreement. So women should submit to their husbands.
Yeah.
Even under circumstances where they take all the money while they're sick and make decisions the woman does not agree with.
Well, if it
Now,
was,
if that's true,
if it was reversed,
can you tell her that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
but
it
she
doesn't
agrees.
count
No.
when you cheat. Ahora,
No, but her.
if you cheat
Mira,
on her, it
mira,
doesn't count.
mira.
I will say something about her situation. I'm a woman that also, it's like, look, I'm a nurturer. I'm a great woman. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a lot of great qualities. I don't want to compete with men. I don't want to be a man. I want to be a woman. And I want my man to take the lead. But in certain situations, when you're being disrespected, it's like we deserve respect mutually. If I don't know what you said to her earlier.
Who determines what's respect?
Well, I think your values really determine like how and communicating like, hey, this makes me feel this. Like, if you call me a bitch, I'm gonna be like, hey, babe, like when you use the word bitch, like that's disrespectful. It's derogatory. It makes me feel this way. Like, please don't use it again.
Yeah, that's fair.
And if you keep
You're talking
like,
about dignity,
well, respect,
human dignity.
respect, I feel like kind of goes under that as well. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, hang on.
we're not
It's hard. It's hard to define this term because it's subjective.
absolutely.
What could be respect to you could be disrespect to somebody else.
Absolutely.
We agree that that's true, right?
Yeah, like some girls are
so
okay with
don't
being
you have
called
to have a
out.
head who tells you what is respect and what is disrespect then?
Well, the thing is,
Since it's a
we all,
subjective metric?
The thing is, we all have a head. We all grew up in a household, and we all were experienced to the world as it is, and so we all have our beliefs and our values,
Yeah,
right?
but who is the ultimate decision maker in the family?
But what does that have to do with respect?
Because I want to know who determines what respect is in the family. You or him?
We both did before
You
we
both do.
we both came into that. Before you get to marriage, I think there's a baseline understanding of like what
Boundaries.
is respect. You know what I mean?
Boundaries.
Like you've already been through that kind of.
Yeah, but people change.
Absolutely, people
Especially over
change.
time, right?
People change, yeah, and not everyone can withstand changes. Every relationship.
So how would a
unique.
wife know if she was being a bitch unless her husband told her?
You got to be called out on your shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes
And you got to
deserve-
submit to his judgment, don't you?
Sometimes you deserve
If
a
he
bitch
says you're
wife.
being a stupid bitch, you got to submit and say yes.
No.
Do you
you're
talk
right.
to your mother like that? Do you talk to your mother
My
like
mom
that?
would completely 100% agree with me when I say
She's a
if
stupid
there
bitch.
has to be an arbiter inside of a relationship
call
who
your
makes
mom
the,
a stupid bitch?
That's not what I said. Again,
So would you
just
let your
said
dad call
I-
her a stupid bitch?
my dad can do whatever the hell he wants. He's the head of the family.
So you would allow him to disrespect your
What?
mother?
It's the head of the family?
There's a different way to say, like, hey, Sharon, I don't think you know what you're saying is, but Sharon, you're a stupid bitch, and that's your mother. That's okay with you.
Okay. Brings me back to the question. Who determines inside of the household and the relationship?
We both do. It's a partnership.
You both do.
Yes.
Right. It's
a
equality.
Look, you call it equality, I call it respect.
Well,
you know,
I mean,
I call it a partnership.
If
you
there's
can
not
name
one
it this,
person,
I can name
if
it
there's
that.
not one person who is the arbiter, the tiebreaker, the person who ultimately makes the decision, then it's equal.
Yes, there are times where he will, and sometimes, maybe never. I won't ever. I won't need to because I trust him.
Okay.
Because he will always know what to do. But you as a man, with all that pressure that life, you know, gives you, do you always know what to do? Do you always know what's right?
Let's assume that I don't know anything, and I'm making all of the wrong choices. Hang on. I'm making all the wrong choices. Who's the head of the family?
If you're making all the wrong choices, you're probably not married, honey.
Who's assuming I'm not?
You're probably not.
Assuming I'm not.
Or you won't stay married for long if you're making all the
but
wrong
assuming
choices.
I'm not, and I'm going to get divorced tomorrow. If I was, answer my question.
What is it?
Well, you have to stop talking long enough for me to ask it.
But there is one.
So
there is one more thing.
hang on. We'll get to you. So back over to this, right? Ultimately, somebody has to be the decider.
Yes, but in different scenarios, if it's a partnership, you know, the man
That's
can
right.
take the lead. The woman can, you know, sometimes you as a man are going to be like, that's a good idea, baby. Let's fucking do that.
Sure, you
And
can
what's
give
wrong with
input, but
that?
what if he says, I don't care?
Okay, then he says that. Like,
And then,
what do you want me to argue? There's nothing for me to argue. Then he says
and then you
that.
close your mouth and you say nothing, right?
I will probably say nothing, or you know, it depends what's happening. You know what I mean? What the situation.
Just out of
is.
curiosity, just so we can get a litmus test on the table, how many of you agree with her that like equal partnership in a relationship?
It's
how
not
many of you
equal.
agree?
It's not equal.
Can I say
But
something?
you're making equal
talking about
arguments.
I'm talking about respect. No, I'm not talking about men and women are not equals. There's a role everyone plays.
Okay, but can I say something? Like, let's say we are Latin women and we are raised with some beliefs. What? So we are really different than.
We already
Okay,
submissive.
real fast.
We already
real fast.
submissive.
How,
We
just
already
like just so I get an
submissive.
idea of the table. How many of you guys agree with her? Raise of hands.
Say it again about what?
Yes, she does.
I mean, you guys been listening. I mean, did you
Yeah,
agree
yeah,
with her
yeah.
stance on things?
I agree.
You agree? Okay. One,
Only two.
two.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, you agree. What about you? You don't agree with her? She's been saying a lot of the same things you kind of said.
Yeah, but I don't think the same.
Some of the things I agree.
I'm confused.
Yeah, because I'm a teen woman, I'm a teen man at the same time. It just when the disrespect comes, like
Disrespect.
yeah, in disrespect, cheating and shit like that, I don't tolerate that. If you respect
There was no discussion
me,
about cheating, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, because she says something about equal, like this talk. Like if he says something, I'm agree with him because we are part.